All right, think about the building you're in right now, your office, your house, maybe a coffee shop. What if it had a brain, a digital one, that's constantly learning, constantly adapting? Now, I know that sounds like something straight out of science fiction, but it's not. It's a revolution that's happening as we speak in the world of construction, and we're about to pull back the curtain and see exactly how it works.
You know, for the longest time, construction has been a world of paper blueprints and manual checkups. It was a slow, painstaking process where super costly mistakes were often found way too late. I mean, after they were literally set in concrete. But that entire playbook, it's being thrown out the window. We are taking a massive leap from that slow, reactive world into an age of real-time data, all powered by AI and just armies of tiny sensors. This isn't just a little upgrade. It is a complete reimagining of how we build our world.
And this really gets us to the heart of this revolution. This massive jump from blueprints to big data is being fueled by some incredible tech, like building information modeling, you'll hear that called BIM, and the Internet of Things. But when you combine these tools, they create something else entirely, something so powerful it's poised to change everything, the digital twin.
So let's meet the star of our show today, the digital twin. Now, when you hear that, your first thought might be of, a simple 3D model, something you'd see an architect use, or maybe even in a video game. But a digital twin is so much more than that. It's not just a static picture, it's a living, breathing digital counterpart to a real-world thing.
Okay, so that raises the big question, doesn't it? What exactly is a digital twin, and what makes it so different from a simple 3D model that we've had for years? Here it is. This is the core of it. A digital twin is a virtual replica that is constantly being updated with real-time data. But the real magic, the secret sauce, is that it creates a two-way street of information. The physical building is sending a constant stream of data to its digital double, and in return, the twin can send insights and even commands right back to the building. It's a real conversation happening between the physical and the virtual worlds. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a living blueprint, or maybe a virtual mirror. It doesn't just show you what the building is supposed to look like, it shows you its pulse. You can see its energy use right now, the stress on its structure, how people are moving through its hallways. You're seeing its overall health in this very moment.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. A static 3D model, that's just a snapshot in time. It shows you what the architect wanted to build. A digital twin, on the other hand, is a dynamic, living model that reflects what's actually happening in the real world right this second. That constant two-way feedback loop, fed by thousands of tiny sensors, is what gives it life.
So, how does this all actually play out? Let's follow the journey of a digital twin and see how it grows and evolves right alongside its physical partner, from the very first sketch all the way through decades of operation.
The twin is a partner at every single stage. In the design phase, you can run all these virtual stress tests, like you can simulate what 50 years of hurricane-force winds will do to the structure, all before you even break ground. Then, during construction, it acts like a digital foreman, spotting a potential clash between, say, plumbing and electrical wiring weeks before it would have become a huge, expensive real-world problem. But it's in that final phase, operation and maintenance, where the twin really shines for years and years to come.
And this brings us to a total game changer of a concept, predictive maintenance. So, instead of waiting for the air conditioning to fail on the absolute hottest day of the year, the digital twin is analyzing data and flags a tiny little anomaly. It basically sends a message saying, hey, this part over here is showing signs of wear. You should probably schedule a replacement for next Tuesday. We go from being reactive and putting out fires to being brilliantly proactive.
Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like in the wild? Let's take a look at the real-world impact this technology is having right now and how it is making our buildings genuinely smarter.
A fantastic example of this is a big hospital over in Birmingham. This place was designed from day one with a digital twin at its very core. It is covered in thousands of IoT sensors that are constantly feeding data on absolutely everything, from air quality to how the medical equipment is performing, all the way back to its virtual counterpart in the cloud.
So picture this. One day, the digital twin detects a sudden, totally unexplained spike in energy use. Now, in the old days, you'd send a team on a wild goose chase through the entire hospital. But here, the twin analyzes the data patterns, pinpoints a single malfunctioning HVAC unit on the third floor, and it even simulates the most efficient way to fix it. The team goes in, makes a precise surgical repair, and boom, energy use drops right back to where it should be. That is the power of having a digital brain.
So when you pull it all together, the payoff is just huge.
This isn't just about some fancy 3D model. It's about creating buildings that are fundamentally safer, radically more efficient, and way more sustainable. We're talking about real, tangible savings in both money and environmental impact, all driven by smart data.
And this is where things get really exciting, because this technology doesn't just stop at a single building. What happens when you start connecting the digital twins of buildings and traffic grids and water systems and public utilities? Well, you start to create the foundation for a truly smart city.
Now, of course, let's be realistic. The road to this future isn't perfectly paved. There are some serious hurdles to overcome, like the high cost to get started, the massive complexity of integrating all this data, and of course the huge cybersecurity risks that have to be managed incredibly carefully. But the potential down the road is just staggering. As this quote gets at, with AI getting smarter and smarter, these twins are going to evolve. I mean, imagine a building that doesn't just tell you there's a problem, but actually learns from it, and then makes its own decisions, like rerouting power during an outage or adjusting the entire building's climate based on how many people are in it, all on its own.
And that really leaves us with one final, fascinating thought to chew on. As our physical and digital worlds keep merging, it feels less like a question of if and more a question of when every bridge, every power grid, every key piece of our infrastructure will have its very own living, learning virtual twin. The brain is here, and you know what? It's getting smarter every single day.